All right, welcome back to the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. This third preseason game coming up Sunday night in Tennessee. It's the closest to a regular season game, so we're going to see most of the starters, if not all of them. On defense, maybe you will see Joe Hayden, but the one guy you would definitely see in that lineup is Bud Dupree. 2 sacks in the first half against Kansas City. Now, I know it's only preseason here, Paul, and I don't want to get too worked up and hype him up too much, but he's in a contract year, and he's shown some potential. He says he's going to have double-digit sacks. What do you think?
I agree. If he stays healthy, I think he will get double-digit sacks. He hasn't done that yet, but I think that he probably last year we started to see benefit from the fact that T.J. Watt just got better and better and better on the other side, and you can't basically deal with both of them. You know, you're going to have to choose one or the other. So Bud Dupree's probably going to get some free runs at the quarterback.
Yeah, that move last year, flip-flopping sides, was supposed to benefit both linebackers mutually. It ended up, I think, benefiting T.J. Watt more. But let's see if a year removed, Bud Dupree is able to capitalize and maybe create some turnovers from strip sacks and hitting most right-handed quarterbacks from the blind side. For all the talk of turnovers in training camp this year for the Steelers, I think the front seven could be a big part of creating more, not just relying on the defensive backs to catch the ball in the secondary.
I say forget about it. Can he do it? He needs to do it. He needs to have those double-digit sacks. I don't think the Steelers have 2 outside linebackers with double-digit sacks going on. I think this might be the 10th year. I mean, you have to be able to get to the quarterback from those 2 spots right there. And Dupree has been saying for 3 years now he's going to get the 10 sacks and he's going to have the ton of sacks. He always looks good, and something always happens that it does not occur. And let's hope that that's not the case this year. But just like, you know, some of the other position battles, I need to see it first because I've been burned by it by 2 or 3 times so far. I think Bud needs to come out and play up to his potential, and that will make this defense even better than it was last year when they led the league in sacks with 52. So I'm not betting on it right now, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Mark, you betting on the secondary. They've been emphasizing turnovers and causing turnovers this preseason. They caused a couple big ones. Terrell Edmonds with that forced fumble, Sean Davis there, not only causing turnovers, but guys are showing that they're more versatile out there, playing multiple positions, moving those guys around.
Once again, I mean, it's the same thing as we hear every single year about how they need more turnovers and how they're emphasizing them more and how they're doing this and that, and we don't see it. I mean, we've seen it here in the preseason, but until it translates over into the game and you have more than, what did they have, 12 turnovers last year?
15, yeah.
Something ridiculous amount of number. I don't even know how they went 9-6-1 with that little amount of turnovers.
Well, that's what Tomlin was saying, Mark. Remember, he was talking about the strip sack game. For all the sacks that they had, you know, look at the forced fumbles. T.J. Watt had 6, and I believe the guy with the next highest total on the roster was Roosevelt Nix with 2 from the fullback position on special teams. So you're not seeing a lot of guys strip the ball free, and that's where Dupree comes into play. Like I said, coming from the blind side a lot, and maybe like we've seen in the run game a couple times, big hits to the guys that have already possessed the ball, so you don't have to worry about getting penalties and then ripping it free. I think Artie Burns kind of loosened things up, and then Terrell Edmonds came along to punch that ball free before Sean Davis was there to pounce on it last night.
Yeah, that position is so thin, too. I mean, you have Chickalo, and you don't know if you have a Daney. You don't know if, I mean, Tuzar Skipper might not make the team.
He's the Duck Dynasty of the defense for crying out loud at this point.
Have we figured out yet, is Anthony Chickalo a good player? Or, I mean, he seems to be like one of these guys that's on the roster every year, and
they didn't have to keep him, and they did.
But my point is, I don't know. I mean, he seems like he's.
Who else do they have, though, right now?
Solid. I don't know
who do they have?
I guess he's a solid player, I guess, is a good way of saying it. It's just, it just seems like year after year after year, he just keeps making the roster, which, more power to him.
When we talk about giving Bud Dupree $10 million, what other option did they have? I mean, they don't have anybody else.
What, for this year or for next year?
I mean, for this year. I mean, were you going to go with Chickalo and Dupree? And
well, apparently not. They had such little emphasis of going at an outside linebacker. They're banking everything on the depth surrounding Ola Adeni and keeping Chickalo. I mean, I know that position doesn't mean quite as much as it did when the 3-4 defense was what it was in its glory days, but it feels very much minimized to me. I'm glad they got at least one really good one in Watt.
Mark, does Skipper make the team?
Nah, I don't think he'll make the practice squad. He's very raw, as in he really didn't ever go into coverage at Toledo, and they're really not having him do it here either. So he needs some some time on the practice squad.
All right, now it's time to go around the horn for this week's Smooth Move, brought to you by Pittsburgh's largest supplier of the smoothest granite, marble, quartz, countertops, Armina Stone. Let's start with Mark. I mean, he's my smooth move of the night. Did you see him draining free throws in the sports department?
Wow, 16 in a row.
16 or 17?
17 in a row.
Hey, I got
Pomp has 19, I have 18. So he's in third place right now.
We don't care about you, Rich.
Well, Mueller hit 9 threes in a row in a game. So
Hey, let me tell you something. Bob Pompiani, KD pumping ain't easy. And he made it look smooth Saturday night trying to get through an hour of rain day. Let me give you a real quick story here. I was at a store today, and a lady came up to me and said, "Hey, I recognize you from that show on Sunday night," and she called it the Bob Pompiani Show.
Oh.
So, pumping ain't easy. A lady from Weirton, West Virginia.
Yes, I'm sure number one Cochran is happy to know that people are calling this the
Number one
the
Cochran
Bob
pop
Pompiani
show.
show. I'm sure that's really making them happy. My smooth move goes to, believe it or not, a guy fans here love to hate, Anthony Rizzo. He had a bomb of a home run,
Wow.
which isn't really saying that much. I mean, lots of people hit home runs off the Pirates pitching, but it was pretty cool. He signed it, and he had Yu Darvish help him translate so he could take to one of the kids from, I think it was Team Japan, the shortstop, who I guess earlier in the day they had a little moment where they were able to talk to each other. So, hey, that's what it's all about. That's what that Little League Classic's all about. It was pretty cool. Rizzo took time out of the game and went and handed the kid a signed ball.
Well, my smooth move of the week was to be Paul for his reference of Striper 2 nights ago on his show, the black and gold clad hair metal band from the 80s. But instead, I'm going to go with the producers of Chernobyl on HBO. I'm late to the game on this. It's unbelievable. It really paints the sincere fear that America and Russia had about a nuclear holocaust, and it's much more uplifting than watching the Pirates.
All right, those are our smooth moves of the week, brought to you by Armina Stone, who features Pittsburgh's largest indoor stone gallery of granite and marble countertops imported from all over the world to give you the smoothest countertops in the area. Score a touchdown with the new granite countertops from Armina Stone. Coming back on the #1 Bob Pompiani Sports Showdown next.